Welcome to this segment of the mini course, Sold in 10 Seconds. Now, this is not a rah-rah session filled with hype and emotion that'll burn off like a shot of vitamin B12 or a boring PowerPoint presentation. This is a rubber meets the road transfer of specialized knowledge from us to you in a systematic way. We're going to talk about how to overcome hidden barriers and gain the trust and confidence of people very, very quickly in the opening seconds. First, I want to tell you a story that will illustrate this. A friend of mine went through this course about a year ago. After successfully completing the course, he took it home to his wife. His wife, you see, worked at a cosmetic counter in a big box store. And I got a voicemail from this gentleman, and it was kind of disturbing at first. He says, "Hey Raj, this is Scotty. I want to talk to you. Your course got my wife fired this afternoon." Well, not exactly fired, but I need to talk to you. So I call him up and I'm thinking, what the heck could go on? How could being better with people get you fired? And so I was talking to Scott on the phone. He says, "You know, my wife works at a cosmetic big box store and she sells cosmetics and she's doing really well, and she got into this training and she was absorbing it and figured it all out, and especially that first 3 seconds and 10 seconds. And what was happening, Raj, is people were coming back when my wife wasn't working and asking specifically for Diane. Oh, is Diane here? Is Diane here?" And Diane was off shift, and they would leave instead of going to another consultant. Well, Diane the other day got called in by management, and they set her down and they said, "We're going to have to terminate you. You have violated the rules." And Diane doesn't know what's going on. She's like, "What do you mean I violated the rules?" "Diane, you know, you were explicitly told that you cannot tell customers to come back when your shift is. We're all supposed to service our customers here at this store." And Diane was very beside herself, saying, "Well, I've never told any customers to come back and specifically ask for me." And they said, "Well, some of the girls have reported lots of people are coming in and asking specifically for you." You see, these people that Diane was talking to had connected so well with her and liked her so much that they didn't want to deal with anybody else, because she knew the components of the sale. There are 3 components to selling yourself. You sell the product, you sell the company, and then you sell yourself. And Diane became very, very good at selling herself. She worked for a world-class company with a world-class product. But what she really found out was this: people start to judge you within 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds, people start to judge you. So keep that in mind. Within 10 seconds, they start to form opinions about you. That pendulum starts to move either towards you with likability or away from you because you've created some resistance within 10 seconds, and I'll prove this to you. Think of the last time or a time in the past where you've met somebody and within 10 seconds you said to yourself, wouldn't want to have lunch with that person. Has that ever happened to you? On the other hand, have you also met people and in the same 10 seconds you kind of instantly like them? Wouldn't it be interesting if you knew how you could do that every single time? That's what Diane was doing every single time. She knew that it was critical in the opening 3 seconds and 10 seconds. Let me give you another example. Have you ever spoken to somebody face to face, eyeball to eyeball, and suddenly thought to yourself, "Gee, I don't think I'm getting through to this person"? It happens all the time. Are you a business owner? Are you in sales or customer service? Are you trying to make your way up the career ladder? You're always dealing with people. You're in the people business. And think of that time where you spoke to somebody face to face, but you could see that they were zoning out. Why is that happening? There's a mechanism in the brain called the reticular actuator. It's constantly scanning for things familiar, unusual, or problematic. And when it picks up on something, it's in the form of a positive or a negative impulse. If you send too many negative impulses to people, they quickly start to feel that resistance and zone out on you. But if you send positive signals to those people, the opposite happens. They start to focus in on you. Think of it this way. Have you ever driven your car down a major boulevard and suddenly thought to yourself, "This is going to be a great day"? You're hitting one green light after another. Green light, green light, green light. Now contrast that. What about when you got to be someplace and you can't buy a green light? You're hitting red lights. It's the same thing with people. You're either sending red lights or green lights to people all the time. We're going to show you how to consistently send green lights to people. And one of the things that you need to know is that that momentum starts to move very quickly towards you within 3 seconds, 10 seconds, and the ongoing relationship. Now I have another story for you. A guy by the name of Larry called me up the other day, and he had gone through our training, and unfortunately for him, he told me, he says, man, I wish I would have known this 20 years ago, because when the layoff came, he was laid off. But he went through the training in that downtime. He found us and went through it as he was looking for jobs. And he called me the other day from another state and said, Raj, you're never going to believe what's happened to me. I went in for a job interview, had a job interview, and sat down with the gentleman, immediately hit it off, started doing everything that you told me to do. And we hit it off very, very well. And before we really reviewed the features and benefits of what I could do for him, he says, you know something? I like you, Larry. Let's talk about terms. And so they sat down and they talked about the terms of him going to work for these folks. Larry knew that in those opening seconds, he had a chance to contrast himself with every other individual that was being interviewed for that job. Not only did Larry land that job, but when the guy told him, here's what I can pay you, Larry got him to bump $10,000 per year. Sold in 10 seconds. Business owners, sales and customer service, making it up your way up the career ladder. These are the things that are very important to you. Thanks for listening. This is going to be a lot of fun as you go through this mini course. My name is Roger Preble. Thanks a lot.